A cold wind scraped through the streets of Cleveland, Ohio, the kind that slipped into bones and reminded every soul outside that winter had no mercy. On a cracked sidewalk near Euclid Avenue, a man named Harris tightened the old army green jacket around his shoulders. It wasn't really his size. He had found it at a church donation bin months ago, but it was warm enough to keep him from shivering into sickness. He sat near the bus stop, not to ask for anything, but because he liked watching life move. People boarding the buses with purpose, eyes full of destinations, hearts full of plans he couldn't imagine anymore. Harris used to have plans too once. Before the layoff, before the medical bills, before everything in his life seemed to collapse like a building with no foundation. That morning, he noticed a woman standing at the edge of the curb, her heels wobbling. She looked lost, panicked, and strangely pale. Her name, he would later learn, was Megan, though right now she looked like someone on the verge of tears. Her elegant coat fluttered in the wind, her makeup lightly smudged, like she had wiped her eyes too many times. She clutched her purse tightly and kept digging inside, searching desperately. When the bus slowed to a stop in front of them, she froze. She didn't have the fare. The driver called her forward, impatience stitching his voice, and without hesitation, Harris stepped up. He paid for her ticket. He had only $3.26 left, coins warm from his pocket, but that didn't matter. His mother had always told him, if God gives you just enough, share it. It keeps your spirit from going hungry. The woman stared at him, stunned, whispering a thank you that trembled in the air like a broken prayer. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing good even when life is hard, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. Inside the bus, Harris found a seat near the back. He didn't look at Megan again, not because he wasn't curious, but because he didn't expect anything from her. He didn't do kindness for attention or reward. He did it because it made him feel human again. Megan, however, kept glancing at him, wiping her cheeks as if she couldn't understand why someone with so little would help a stranger. She had her own storm behind her eyes. She had just come from a courthouse where she learned she had lost custody of her daughter temporarily. A messy divorce, legal fees, accusations she couldn't fight alone. Her once thriving real estate career had strained under the weight of personal chaos, and though she still technically owned properties and assets through her firm, her life felt like it was slipping away brick by brick. She felt like an investor with no investment left in herself. Harris left the bus 5 stops later. Megan watched him go, the wind swallowing him up as though he were never there. That night, Harris slept behind an abandoned laundromat, his makeshift shelter of cardboard and tarp barely enough to block the cold. He thought about the woman, prayed she'd be all right, and drifted into dreams of a life he once knew. Steady paychecks, Sunday dinners, and warmth that didn't have to be earned with suffering. Days passed. Harris continued living with humility, offering to sweep the bakery floor each morning for stale bread, helping elderly neighbors carry groceries for $1 or $2, and occasionally reading from a battered Bible he kept wrapped in a plastic bag to protect its pages. Word traveled around the block about the gentle giant with a soft heart. But kindness didn't pay enough to save him. He needed work, real work, but without an address, a phone, or clean clothes consistently, he struggled to even get an interview. Then one morning, while sweeping snow from the front of a local diner for a cup of coffee, a black SUV rolled up. A woman stepped out. Megan. He almost didn't recognize her. She looked stronger, cleaner, steadier, like someone who had slept well and eaten a meal cooked in a home rather than from a donation line. She approached him slowly, not wanting to startle him. She introduced herself properly this time, and he nodded, shy and unsure what else to say. She told him she had spent days looking for him. After the bus ride, something in her shifted. His kindness had been like a spark in the ashes of her life, reminding her there were still good things in the world. She had gone back to her office, wiped her tears, and faced her battles with renewed determination. She had fought for her daughter, hired a new attorney, and even negotiated deals with her investors that restored her status in the community. Megan explained who she was, a real estate investor, owner of a small but reputable firm. Harris simply blinked. He didn't know how to process it. She then offered him something he never expected, a job, not charity, not a handout, but a job maintaining a block of rental properties she owned. She had seen something in him, responsibility, humility, and honesty, the values money couldn't buy. Harris could hardly breathe. He accepted. The diner owner, overhearing everything, offered him a place to shower and some clothes to get started. With Megan's support, Harris soon had keys to a small maintenance shed office, then to a modest apartment she discounted until he got on his feet. He worked harder than any employee Megan had ever known, fixing pipes, repainting walls, cleaning hallways until they gleamed. He saved every dollar he could, and after 3 months, Megan fought back tears, handing him his first full paycheck and benefits paperwork. Harris cried quietly in the privacy of his apartment, gripping the check like it was a lifeline back to the world of the living. Months later, Megan won her custody case and her daughter, Aria, began visiting her new office. One day, Aria hugged Harris, thanking him for helping her. "Mommy gets strong again." Harris didn't know how to respond. He simply patted her back gently, his heart swelling with a gratitude he never felt before. He realized then that the world hadn't given up on him. He had just needed someone to remind him he was still seen. Near the end of that year, Megan offered him a permanent contract and eventually a partnership opportunity. Harris declined at first, scared he wasn't worthy, but Megan insisted. "You invested kindness," she said softly. "Let me invest back." If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe so more people can feel inspired to believe in goodness again. Your engagement helps keep this channel alive. Before we end, I have a special request. Comment below if you believe even the smallest act of kindness can change someone's destiny. I'd love to see your thoughts. And so, Harris learned that a single moment of generosity, even from a person struggling the most, can build bridges no blueprint could ever map. And Megan learned that wealth measured only in money is fragile, but wealth measured in compassion can rebuild empires. They didn't become a family or anything dramatic like that. This story isn't about romance. It's about the quiet miracles that happen when souls cross paths at the right moment, in the right season of life, one needing hope, the other needing purpose. In the heart of the United States, amid cold winds and cracked sidewalks, a homeless man paid a bus fare and unknowingly bought himself a future. Sometimes, the smallest coins create the biggest change.